Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to another Workshop Wednesday. This week's edition is a Beyond Basics edition, so a little bit more advanced. And we're going to be talking about how to actually set up e-commerce in GA4 specifically for your Shopify store. Look at that. I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. All right, welcome. If this is your first Workshop Wednesday, my name is Chris Mercer. Everybody calls me Mercer. You should as well. I'm the co-founder of measurementmarketing.io, and whether you found us through podcasts and talks, through some of the platforms we share some of our content with, maybe you're already a member over at measurementmarketing.io. However you found us, we're happy that you're here. It's our job to help you learn all of these crazy fun tools, and that includes things like Google Analytics 4. Let me change a slide. It actually changed this once, and I think it got changed on me back. So we're going to change this live again. There we go. So now it's Google Analytics 4, Tag Manager, Looker Studio, and others. Look at that. Live editing. You got to love that stuff. And obviously we do this with the Measurement Marketing Academy. That is our flagship just-in-time learning platform for all things digital measurement. So if you need measurement help in your organization, including strategy, and then obviously the implementation, tactical sort of stuff, we can help you out there. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get officially underway. Beyond Basics, setting up e-commerce in GA4 for your Shopify store. Now, we're going to go ahead and dive right in as we always do with the framework. Remember, we're all marketing the blind. We're trying to get to a point where we're just using a system. We're producing the results we want, which is revenue and profits. So what is the system? What activities do we focus on? And we're going to see this in this particular training, specifically the planning stage, this KIA process. We call it KIA because it's Q as for questions, I for the information. In other words, what are we going to need to collect in order to get answers to those questions? And then finally the A, which is what actions are going to take based upon the answers we get. So we'll see some examples of that today. Then the build, where of course you got to make sure the platform is understanding the results like e-commerce. The traffic is identified, so we understand which traffic sources are causing which results. That's what gives us the natural story back there. Then the launch. This is how you use it. Listening to the trends and patterns, forecasting against those trends and patterns to predict your near future. And now that you're marketing forward, instead of always looking back in the rearview mirror, you can finally measure against your forecasts. That is how you know what to optimize. If you're not measuring against a forecast, you'll never know. You're just going to end up guessing. So that is the measurement marketing framework in a nutshell. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on guest instructor. She's making her debut appearance. We're so excited. So instructor for measurementmarketing.io, Manisha Mistry. Now, Manisha has been working with clients on measurement strategy implementations for many, many years. She's actually she was previously a certified measurement marketer. I shouldn't say previously, she still is a certified measurement marketer, but she's super passionate about this stuff and was incredible when it comes to Looker Studio. Also happens to have her own Shopify store, so she could show you some of this fun stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get my slides ready. We're going to bring on Manisha here. Oops, sorry, I think I just messed that up. Let me go back. And I think I got it. There we go. Okay, Manisha, take it away.
Thank you for that introduction. Before we jump into the tools and start building our setup, I like to think about the goal when using GA4 with Shopify. The goal is to help answer questions. Typical Shopify store results questions are questions like, how many sales did I get? What was the average order value? These are very important questions, but more importantly, how we got those sales is critical, as that will help us plan our marketing so we can reliably grow profit and revenue. With the right setup, you can ask results questions like how many sales did I get? But you can also ask how questions, such as how many users added to cart? How many users viewed an item? Now, let's talk about 3 different ways to connect GA4 to Shopify. For the 3 ways we show you in this workshop, you will need Google Tag Manager. We're going to walk through pros and cons of each option. So, option 1 is a custom code solution. Based on the development skills in-house, this option can be free, and you can customize it as needed based on the skills you have on your team. It does require a developer, it does require custom code, and it can require extra time. Here is one option for option 1 when developing a custom code solution. It is the GitHub open source Shopify GA4 Ecom data layer setup guide. By using this guide, it will pre-populate the data layer in GTM with the required information you need for ecom events. Now, what is a data layer? Well, think of this data layer as a temporary filing cabinet that holds information you need at a specific point in time in GTM. You will need to set up tags and triggers to pull this information out of the data layer and send it off to GA4. I highly recommend if you implement a custom code solution to test this every few months, even every few weeks, to ensure that if there are any code changes in Shopify, your custom code solution is still working. Now let's talk about option 2. So option 2 is using the Google Channel app. So at this time, this app is free. It is a quick setup. You do need an active Google Ads account to complete the setup. So here is the Google Channel app. You can download it by going to apps.shopify.com/Google. Once you download this app, it will populate the data layer with the required information you need for the e-com events. You will need to, just like in option 1, set up the tags and triggers and variables to grab this information and send it off to GA4. Finally, let's talk about option 3, using a paid tool like Elevar. So all the experts we've spoken to recommend using a paid tool, specifically Elevar. Wonder why? Well, first off, it's a faster implementation. Using a tool like Elevar, it will pre-populate the data layer with the required information you need. In addition to just giving you data layer information, it will also provide you with GTM templates so that you can quickly get GTM set up and you can start measuring the results and how. They also offer the ability to track email signups, and they will maintain their code base if there are any changes in Shopify. It does cost a little extra. For the purposes of this workshop, we are signed up to Elevar's data layer plan, which is $50 a month. During this workshop, we are going to show you how to set up Elevar with Shopify, as that is the recommended approach so that you can quickly get moving and start making marketing decisions based on data. Let's dive in. Before you can begin setting up Elevar, I want to ensure you have access to a few things. You will need access to the Google Analytics GA4 property. You will need access to the Google Tag Manager container. You will need access to the Shopify store, specifically online store themes and preferences, and then access to the checkout settings of that Shopify store. I also highly recommend you download the Shopify theme file search by Easify, as we'll be using that later in this workshop. As mentioned earlier, you will need to sign up for Elevar. The tier we're signed up for is the data layer $50 a month tier. Now, once you have all that, let's dive into Elevar. So here we are in Elevar. When you sign up for Elevar, you will connect it to your Shopify store and you will connect it to your Google accounts. The Google accounts you connect your Elevar account to should be the account that has access to the Google Tag Manager and Analytics. Here is a quick walkthrough of how to do that. We will link this at the bottom of this workshop so you can walk through the steps. Elevar does a great job of spelling it out right here. Once you've connected the store and connected Analytics accounts, then you need to install your data source. Let's go ahead and do that. So we've done it, but I'm going to walk you through the steps. So the first step you need to do is you need to enter your Google Tag Manager container. So what we've done is we've went into Tag Manager. We've clicked on our container ID right here. And then in here, we've looked for GTM. We've copied it, Control-C, head back into Elevar, and we've Control-V. Now, you will see here there's this little error that says Event Breakdown. I recommend you keep all these on, as this will measure everything you need for results and how questions. And then you hit Save. So there we go. The next step is to set up consent. Now, for the purposes of this workshop, with our demo store, we don't have consent. But if you do have consent for your store or for your client store, I highly recommend you read up on Elevar's consent documentation. They do a great job of it. Now you need to prepare your store. You want to remove any pre-existing GTM scripts from your store so you can prevent duplicate tracking. You do not want duplicate tracking. So let's head over to our Shopify store to take that step. So the first place you want to check is go to your Shopify store. Click on Preferences. Once this loads, you're going to scroll down to Google Analytics. If there are any scripts here, specifically your Google Analytics script or your Tag Manager script, you're going to want to remove it. Next, you're going to head over to Online Stores Themes. Once you're in there, you're going to click on these three dots, and you're going to hit Edit Code. So here we are. So this is where this plugin will help you a lot, as you can come in here and you can paste your GTM container in here and hit Search. Give this a moment. So here you go. What it will do is it will go highlight the files that have that string in it, specifically your GTM container. As you can see, for me, it's in the Elevar theme files that have been installed in my store because I've already installed Elevar. But for you, it may be in your theme.liquid file. So you're going to want to remove anywhere where you have this container, as you do not want the GTM container installed twice on your store. Once you've done that, let's head back into Elevar. Now you're going to configure checkout. Based on if you're a Shopify Plus store or a non-Plus store, this step is very different. If you are a Plus store, I highly recommend you click this link to walk through the steps that Elevar provides on how to set up Elevar on a Shopify Plus store. For the purposes of this workshop, we're going to focus on being a non-Plus store, as that is the store we have. So first, you're going to copy this code to your clipboard. Then you're going to head over to your Shopify store and specifically head over to Settings, Checkout. In there, you're going to scroll down to the section that asks for order status, tracking scripts, and other customizations. Now, the reason you want to do this is as a Shopify Plus store, you are unable to track the checkout step where a user goes to checkout, as that is on the Shopify URL. But you do want to add scripts to the final page once they complete the purchase, as you want to track where the traffic came from. This is why you add the script Elevar provided here. Once you paste it in, it is fairly long, and then you hit save. This will be green. Now let's go back into Elevar. So the final step is to install Elevar on your store. If you haven't installed it, go ahead and install it. If you have, you're good. I will, for the purposes of this workshop, click on reinstall just to show you the warning it shows. If you have developers, I recommend you notify them that you are installing this. If you don't, just hit install and it will install. Here we go. Okay, so now our data layer is configured. So now we need to determine where are we sending the information. Well, we're sending it to GA4, so let's configure that. So again, I'm going to walk you through these steps. So first, you need to configure the events you want Elevar to track and send to GA4. I highly recommend to keep all these on. This will answer all your results and how questions. Hit save. Then consent. Again, for the purposes of this workshop, we will not be configuring consent. But if you do have consent, I recommend you watch the video and go through the setup guide. Then you need to get your GA4 ID. Where can you get your GA4 ID? So let's head over to GA4. Now click on Admin. Then come into Data Streams. And then click on your data stream. Right here, you'll see Measurement ID. And Google has this great little button here to copy it. Let's head back into Elevar. And then you can just paste it in here. Just remember to take off the extra G. There you are. Save. Finally, this is the biggest win I love with Elevar, the web container setup. What Elevar gives you here is a pre-built web tags, basically your entire GTM container ready to go. It is like the best thing in the world. So first you're going to hit download. And there you go. It's going to tell you it's downloaded. Now let's head over into GTM. So here we are in Google Tag Manager. So once you're in Google Tag Manager, you're going to click on Admin. I've already imported the Elevar container, but I'm going to walk you through the steps to do that. So once you're in Admin, you're going to click on Import Container. Then you're going to go choose File. Right here, it's going to be your file. It's going to be called Destination GA4 Web. It's going to be similar to this. It may change based on when you're doing this, if they've changed the date or the file. You're going to hit Open. Then you're going to choose a new workspace. I recommend you name this workspace. I like to name the workspace something like Elevar Tags, and then I like to maybe put my initials, and then you can even put the month you're doing it if you want, okay? And you can add a description, so if there's multiple people using your Tag Manager container, they at least know who's working on this. Hit Save. Then I like to use Merge. I like to use Merge because I don't want to override anything. But this is a new workspace, so you won't override anything, but it's good just to do Merge. Then hit Confirm. So what it will do is it will import all the containers, all the tags and triggers into your Google Tag Manager. And as you can see, this is great. This is Elevar showing you how you can update anything they have. So you can go view this update. So this is an Elevar template that they have, and they're saying one of their variables updated. I highly recommend, if you see that, to complete the update. Let's complete it live. So we're going to look at what it is, and you can read through the agreement, and you can see the code that they changed and walk through what has changed. And then I recommend accept. Done. So now that we've added, as you can see, all this amazing event tracking to Google Tag Manager, we want to preview it and see how it works. Let's go do that. So first, we're going to click on Preview. and then you're going to paste in your Shopify store URL in here. Our store URL is shopify.measurementmarketing.io, and hit connect. So here we are. Here's our store. Let's go make sure Tag Assistant loaded properly. As we can see, it loaded properly. Now, what you're looking for right away is this DL_user data. So as you can see, right here, Elevar is running, and it is already populating the data layer with so much information. Now, let's go do some typical e-com events. The first event is we have this test product here, which is $10. Let's click on it. So this is where we are viewing an item. Let's go see what's in Tag Manager. Well, as you can see, it does this great thing of implementing and saying, data layer, view item. And as you can see, in here is all the amazing information you need. Now, the neat thing about Elevar is this data layer is in a UA format. But using their setup and their variables, they've set everything up. So at the time that this information is here, it is also firing a GA4 item view, and it is sending all the information to GA4. Let's see how that looks in GA4. We're going to head over into GA4. We're going to go to config, and we're going to go to debug. And here we should see ourselves. And as you can see right here, we have the view item event. And click on items. And here is our test product and all the items. Let's test a few more events. Heading back into our test store, I'm going to add this product to cart. So now I've added the product to cart. Let's go see what shows in Tag Assistant. Well, you can already see it. Number 35 is add to cart. So here we are. It sent add to cart over. And it also, everything is in the data layer. So quick, right? Now head over to here, test, continue to shipping, and I'm going to enter a code here. And we're going to choose standard shipping, continue to payment. And here we are. So it's the same as shipping. And we're going to complete the order. As you can see, I just zeroed out the total. Complete order. As you can see, Tag Assistant did disconnect here because we are a non-plus store. But watch, it will turn blue the minute we made it on this page. And let's see. Oh, here we go. We see purchase, right? Oh, having a hard time clicking on it there. And here we go. All the information is there. And as the ultimate test, give this a moment. Right here, purchase, and the information is all there. So there you go. You can now measure results and how quickly with Shopify and GA4 using Elevar. I hope you really enjoyed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sorry about that. This is exactly what we were looking for. Let me go ahead and bring this up. There you go. Thank you, Manisha. I appreciate all of that. So you saw a few different ways of getting through this. What was your one thing? Was it the idea that you can kind of do this on your own? If you want to use the GitHub approach, you totally could. Or was it the opposite, where it's like, hey, for $50 a month, it might be better to use a tool like Elevar or something else that does this stuff for you. Of course, you could always work with a developer either way, but at least you understand a little bit better of a strategy and saw some different implementation options to get e-commerce reporting into GA4 for your Shopify store. Remember how it fits in the framework. When Manisha talked about the very first thing she started about, these results and how questions we always talk about. And of course, the results being measured in this case are actual revenue results coming in. So that's how it fits into the framework itself. All right, next week's workshop, we move into a strategy session edition, definitely for those of you who are more on the strategy side of things. And I'm actually going to run this one. We're going to talk about how to make sure that your organization is measurement ready when it comes to 2023, because it is a whole new world that we're about to go into. We want to make sure that everyone's organization is ready, specifically how they're using measurement, the different tools, different strategies that you should be looking at as we go through that. If you want this workshop, not a big deal. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will automatically get notified when it is available. Of course, the other way you can do it is by joining the Measurement Marketing Academy. Now, we do have different levels of the Academy. There's a free level called the Measurement Marketing Academy Toolbox. That is our free edition. It comes with this training. You've got the Workshop Wednesday back there, whatever the most recent Workshop Wednesday is, you'll see. You also have all the different tools. So if you ever hear a tool that's mentioned, we typically have that free and available for our Toolbox members as well, whether it's the traffic tracking toolkit, the forecasting planner, which is a big one right now, given that as we're recording this, it's right around November of 2022. So actually November 16th, 2022. If you're starting to forecast, you might want to use that tool. There's a split test optimization planner. There's the GTM cookbook if you want to improve your GTM skills. So much stuff is back there in the toolbox completely for free. You also have the other option, of course, of purchasing a paid edition, whether it's the Academy for Marketers, Academy for Professionals, Academy for Agencies and Teams. It doesn't really matter. There's lots of different options available for you in the Measurement Marketing Academy. To find those options out, just go to measure.tips/getacademy. It'll take you to the Academy page where you can learn more about what it has to offer, and then obviously take advantage at whatever level makes the most sense for you. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. This has been Beyond Basics, setting up e-commerce in GA4 for your Shopify store. Thanks again for watching this workshop, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.